Jefferey Saddoris asked about my audio setup, so I thought it might be interesting for other people as well. So I thought I'll just make a little tour, concentrating on the audio and the video because that's what I do. And if you've got any questions, let me know. Alright, the centre of operations is a StudioLive mixer from Presonus. Let me show you. This one here. So it stays beside my desk, and normally it's got this lid on the box because the cat likes to walk over it and change all the settings. But this is the heart of my audio operations. I got it for mixing sound for a band from stage. The band split up, and rather than sell it on, I found another use for it, which I think is a really good use for it. So let me show you the mixer. 16 channels, as I said. In the back, all the microphones, inputs, monitor outputs, etc. Inputs include my pedal board, so I can plug my guitar in and I can live stream using my effects, EQs, etc. And when the lid's on the box, well, how do you work it, Cams? Good question. With this or with this. So these are remote interfaces into the mixer. The iPad sits on my desk full time. That's really the only purpose for this iPad. And let me just show you what happens if you move the fader here on the iPad. Watch if I hit the mute button. So that's how I use the desk. So as I say, normally the lid is on, so I'm going to put the lid back on and I'll show you my lighting setup, because it's not just an audio rig. I do a lot of video as well, live streaming, recording, etc. So there's the box. This is an Aputure Amaran 672W with, that was an umbrella as a soft box, just to soften it a little bit. There's another one behind this monitor here, and the great thing about these is you can work them. It's not going to focus, is it? There we go. So there, that one works like that. The second one, and then I've also got my Stream Deck, which works this key light. There. So all my lights are easy to operate. For monitoring, I use these Sennheiser HD 650s, and for a headphone amp I use the Universal Audio Twin, which is sitting on top of a Universal Audio satellite, which gives me an extra 4 chips, I think, of DSP, but I'm only using that as a headphone amp because I don't have Thunderbolt on my PC. Monitors up on the wall. These are Wharfedale Diamond Pro 8.1, I think. I've had them for a long time, since about 2003, I think. Microphones, I've got the Heil PR40, which is a fantastic mic for podcasts, Zoom calls, etc. And for video, if I'm playing music, I've got an overhead which is a Synco D2, which is a cheaper version of, or a Chinese knockoff I suppose, of the Sennheiser MKH what's the number? 416? I can't remember. The camera, this is my Zoom calls and recording camera. Sony ZV-E10 with a Zeiss 18mm 2.8, which is a really good combo. HDMI cable going out to the Ninja 5, which then has an HDMI cable going out to the PC, and I do all my recording on that device with an SSD, which I then just pull out and plug into my PC, which is down there, and I just plug in a USB cable to import the files. This mixer is fantastic. Being able to work it remotely is a really, really good feature, and it means that I can do all sorts of crazy routing, which is, it's complicated, don't get me wrong. It took me a long time to figure it out actually, but it's been worth it, and I use the device heavily. Every day, day in, day out, it stays on 24/7. Sometimes I do have to reboot it if it loses the connection, and the other annoying thing is that with the iPad, if I switch the iPad off, go to bed, come through the next morning, it's lost the connection, so I've got to force quit the app and then reopen it. But you know, it's a small price to pay for such an interesting rig. I think if I was starting again and I had a Mac, I would consider some of the UAD devices, because that stuff is just incredible, particularly because of the plug-in ecosystem for Universal Audio. Expensive though, that's the thing. If you're not making money at what you're doing, I don't know. But for portable, for travel, I think a MacBook Air with Universal Audio interface would be a terrific way to go. That would give you access to the plugins as well. You've got the 1176 compressor, which I love, Pultec EQ, which I love. I think it would be a fantastic little portable travelling audio recording rig. So that's me. I hope this was useful. If you, Jeffrey, have any questions, or if anyone else has any questions, give us a shout. Cheers.